there. Then many advocates we have sat together, and we knew that sickle cell is not a good disease for us, and many of our tribal brothers and sisters, we are suffering because of this disease. So somehow we should work it out like that. The proposal had come, but we had not organized ourselves. And in between, luckily, last year, Dr. Felicitas, who is from Germany, she came to visit us. And then in Delhi, we had met and we talked. And in between, she sent so many materials to read. And then only understood about the sickle cell. Then we thought it is good to sit and talk and to understand the sickle cell. So that way, how this meeting has been organized. And today, in fact, this meeting, we are here from the state of Gujarat, Rajasthan, Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, Karnataka, Chhattisgarh, Odisha, Jharkhand, and West Bengal. There could have been more participants, but it was done in a bit hasty way. And I am still in the village, but it is never too late. The program has been arranged under the banner of Adivasi Samanvay Manch and India Indigenous Peoples, which is an umbrella organization in the country of Adivasis. And that way how we are here, and this was possible because of many doctors. Yeah, Dr. Rajesh, Dr. Dexter Patel, Dr. Santikar, and many others. So together we talked and we finalized this meeting. So, and we have our president, Mr. Naktaram Bhilji from Rajasthan, the president of our Adivasi Samanvay Manch Bharat. So he also here. So thank you to all of you. And we have our Mr. Ruben Means from Delhi, and Dr. Benjamin Bada in Delhi, who are technically handling the whole thing. Though we are from different places, but because of our coordination and all cooperation, we are working together. So thanks to everybody. And before we start, I think we should just keep in mind that we should keep our sound system unmute, so that one who speaks, so he speaks very clearly, and the rest of us, we listen to one another. So that way we just keep in mind. Then we have the chat box. So you can make use of the chat box, and you can write the questions or any clarification in the chat box, so that Dr. Benjamin Bada, he will inform us what questions and what clarifications are needed. So he will remind us about that. So please make use of the chat box. And yeah, then the program will be, as we have fixed the schedule. Now, in the beginning, Dr. Dexter Patel from Gujarat, he will give the presentation about the sickle cell among the tribals in India. So a little bit we understand about the sickle cell in our situation in India. So he will speak in the beginning. Then after that, Dr. Felicitas from Germany, she will speak. I will give her introduction later. She has vast experience in treating and helping out in different ways to the people, particularly our Indians and Africans, and also in China. So rich experience she has. She will speak about how the simple way this sickle cell disease could be treated. Then, if possible, we have one very good nurse who is a student of Dr. Felicitas in Gujarat, who is practicing in the field using all the herbaceutical medicines in the ground. So we'll listen to her practice and the result that she is observing in Gujarat. Then we have also Dr. Ignesh Kindo from Kunkuri from Chhattisgarh. He has done his studies in botany. So I thought he will be good that how through using all these herbs and our plants and roots and flowers and all, how we can make use, and later on how our botanists, they can help us in the later, so that all the tribal people, whatever we are using in our coordinated effort, all of us join together and make our life healthier. So that way he will speak. Then at the end, Dr. Shantikar Bhasawa, again from Gujarat, he will speak out how we go ahead, how we follow it up in the future. So, and at the end, of course, Dr. Benjamin Bara will propose the vote of thanks. So this is how we have designed the program with Dr. Rajesh and Dr. Dixel. So now may I invite Dr. Dexter Patel from Gujarat to present the situation of sickle cell among the tribals in India. So Dr. Dexter Patel.
Okay, thank you, Barlaji.
Welcome, sir. Yeah.
Please screen sharing चालू कर दीजिए, Dr. Benjamin.
हाँ, Dr. Benjamin. Yeah.
First of all, good evening. Johar, Jai Adivasi, and Aapki Jai. It's my pleasure to represent our Bharat. Because there is so many my friends, colleagues, and my seniors are present here. I think everybody which are present here, or unfortunately due to the some circumstances they are not present here, they all are champion in all the fields who are with us, or due to some schedules they are not connect with us. But it's our pleasure to welcome Dr. Felicitas due to the Nicholas sir, and we are heartily warm welcome to our virtual meeting for the sickle cells journey. We know in first case of the sickle cell disease in India diagnosed in 1952 at the Nilgiri Hills in Tamil Nadu. It is the first tribal. The Nilgiri Hills is a totally tribal area. Yani 1952 to up to 1920, yani 17 years passed. But unfortunately, we are not controlling the sickle cells due to the so many factors affecting, due to our unawareness, due to the government political not interest. Our politicians or other people are not aware about it is a genetic blood disorder. So we are and first of all in India, in the census of 2011, we have 2 crore sickle cell patients in India. So it is a diagnosed and authentic data. So in 2 crore disease, 70 lakhs is sickle cell disease, and 1.8 crore is sickle cell trait. So it is a major burden in our community, most of the Adivasi community. 90% of the sickle cell are diagnosed in Adivasi community and tribal community. Or all the India are sufferer of the tribal community is sickle cells. It is the proportion is 0 to 18 in North India, 0 to 33% in Western India, 0 to 22% in Central India, and 0 to 40% in South India. Yani overall percentage is 0 to 30. Yani it's a major burden. Yes, we are suffering from the malnutrition and other genetic blood disorder, but sickle cell is the most of the affected in the tribal community. Or they are uneducated. So if yes, we have a facilities for the diagnosis. We have the screening facility.
Excuse me, sir. Hello.
Test.
Hello, sir. Sorry to disturb you, but we are not able to see, screen sharing is not proper there.
Dr. Benjamin, just please see the screen.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Host disabled parts.
Which participant?
No, we cannot see. We cannot see. Just please show screen.
डॉक्टर युवराज दिखाना है?
ना डॉक्टर
Yes,
डेक्स्टर?
sir.
No, no.
No, sir. अभी नहीं दिख रहा.
Acha, you are not seen. Yeah. Dr. Dixel, you are not seen.
Okay.
Yeah, here, yeah.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay.
Is it okay?
Yes,
But
sir.
my screen sharing is already stopped, not working.
Acha,
First, disable the participant screen sharing.
acha. So maybe it may not show then, it looks.
Okay. Carry on. We are carry on. No problem.
Yeah. Go ahead, sir, then. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, some technical.
Okay. So we are for the diagnosis purpose we are using the screening test, but for the treatment part and with the awareness parts, it is a very less availability of the medicines and diagnosis part. So we have so many programs from the tribal government, health government, government of India health departments, but still we are facing so many problems among the gynec, pediatrics. They have, if our patient is come at our hospitals, among the 100 patients, 80% is not aware about the heart sequencing status. I am audible?
Yes, sir. Continue. Please continue.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So first of all, trying to diagnose all the tribal community as possible as. So because we are not aware about the burden of the sickle cells. If the one family member is suffering from the sickle cells, definitely whole family is screened out. But unfortunately, we are not screened out. Even the child, husband, there are no screen out. Or because our priority is tribal priority is not the health. Our priority is others. Because we are so many burdens about the financial burdens, uneducated, there is so many other problems, migrants, laborer. So it is a very difficult. But in our India, there is only allopathy medicine is there. It is one of the folic acids and other is the hydroxyurea. Only two medicines are available in India. Others, the future medicines are also available, but it is a future. We think about if any natural resources, tribal medicines, in past. So, agar any natural medicines is available, then it is good for all the tribal community. So, we are here for the natural available medicines or herbal medicines, tribal medicines or XYZ. So, we are using this because the allopathy medicines are very costly. It is not available in every. We are live in the rural area, in the jungle. So we are not frequently connected with the cities. So it is very difficult to take the regular medicines, and that's why we are facing the majority of the crisis. And during the crisis period, we are not because we have the lack of the health facilities. Good health facilities. That's why we are so many young people lost due to the sickle cell crisis. Even pregnant women, we are so many pregnant women lost due to the sickle cell disease. And more sickle cell anemia child are born due to the unawareness. So we all are trying to aware our community with the our social workers, our educated peoples, and other government people. That is the only I talk. Thank you very much, Laj.
Yeah. So thank you very much, Dr. Dexter Patel. It was very informative, and many of us actually not knowing. Many of us are unaware and not knowing how this sickle cell is affecting our tribal community in particular. So, and in India, so I think this is very important. And from this perspective only, some of our doctors thought that we need to come together, all the doctors, those who are working in the healthcare system, so we should come together and how we should support our tribal brothers and sisters in the villages, so that our future generation, they have good health and will grow better. So that's the whole understanding and concern of this webinar and our whole struggle. So thank you very much for this one. So now I invite now Dr. Felicitas Roelofsen from Germany. She is born in 1947, but she completed her MD in 1973. So she has a long experience of almost 47 years in the healthcare system, in the medical line. So we are very happy that she is with us and to support us and to help us and to guide us. She was a general surgeon, then she again learned and she was specialized in abdominal and oncologic surgery. And she also was in the European Organization of Research and Treatment of Cancer. And she also coordinated in 3 international studies in cancer. She also worked in China in 2008 to 2009 in 500-bedded hospital, and she also helped there. And then after that, in 2007, she came to India and she met some our NGO called Unnamed. She will explain about it. Those who were working with the villagers. So that is her. That was the entering point for her in India, and that's so she. Since then, she is with Indian, and also she has also worked in Africa, and she has also worked among the HIV patients. And she has also very deep experience of using different herbs. She has also done some research work and all. So that way, we are really very happy that Dr. Felicitas Roelofsen is with us. And now I invite her to speak to us, to speak on sickle cell and how we should go about it. Dr. Felicitas, floor is now yours.
Thank you, Father Nicholas. Good evening, everybody. Here in Germany, it is still 3 o'clock. So I would like to have if you can put my PowerPoint presentation to the screen, that would be very helpful, because if I just explain a little bit like this. So I'm a member of a German NGO, which is called Unnamed, that means Action for Natural Medicine. So we use herbs, but we also try to give a definite dose and show people how to prepare it. And we are giving trainings in African countries and also in India. And when I was giving my training in Orissa, in Rayagada, suddenly I was confronted with sickle cell disease, which I had known during my studies only as an anemia. I had no idea that sickle cell is that much affecting the quality of life of children. And in the first time I had really no idea. So I asked an Ayurvedic colleague in Bangalore to give me a recipe. So at least at the first training, I could offer something, but I don't know whether anybody put it into practice. So then I tried to find out what all is possible to give in herbs. So is it possible to share, to give the
okay. Dr. Benjamin? Dr. Benjamin? Where he has gone? Dr. Benjamin? He's unmuted or he has disconnected, I think. Dr. Benjamin? Okay, just let me talk with over phone. Where is? Let me see. Yeah.
Okay.
Please continue. Yeah.
I continue a little bit. So the first thing is, I don't know whether you all. So sickle cell disease is inherited. So we are not able to cure the disease except with stem cell transplant, which is very expensive and also very dangerous. But what medicine can do is to stop the symptoms. The two medicines that have been mentioned by Dr. Patel was folic acid. Okay, in sickle cell disease, there is anemia because the sickle cells, instead of 120 days, they stay only 20 days. So a lot of
Dr. Felicitas, just excuse me. Just I talked to Benjamin, so he's fixing just little bit weight so that we see in the screen, then we'll understand better. Just one minute. Dr. Benjamin, yeah.
Hello, Dr. Felicitas. I have already made you the co-host. Now you are in charge of this meeting. If you want to share your slide, easily do.
But
just try.
Where?
You have.
I don't know where.
Okay. Just at the bottom of your screen, you can see share screen. Share
screen. Yes.
Please click on it.
Yes.
And then after that, yes.
Okay.
Now we are able to see. It has started.
You are able to see.
Yes.
Okay.
We can see now. Thank you.
Yeah, good. Thank you.
Okay. Then I'm going. So this is just the introductory thing. So first of all, the sickle cell disease is inherited. So we all have two genes, one from mother, one from father. And if two people who have one healthy gene and one defect gene, they are called traits. And if they have in every pregnancy, there is the chance of 25% that the child is complete healthy, that the child has two healthy genes. In another 25%, the child is sick. It has two sickle cell genes. And in 50%, these children have one healthy and one defect gene. And then they also can transmit the disease to the next generation. So the normal red blood cells are round and quite flat. So they are able to enter the very small vessels in the body. But in sickle cell disease, not always, but under special circumstances, these cells develop like sickles. You can see in the picture then, if these sickle cells, they can block the small vessels. And this can happen in every organ. The most important organ is the spleen, but it can be in bones, in the lungs, everything. At the same time as these cells stay only alive 20 days instead of 120 days, there's a very severe anemia. And there are also a lot of infections because normally the spleen is the first organ which stops functioning. So if it is like this, there is a question, why at all do we still have the disease? But it seems, it is known that especially in areas where there is malaria, sickle cell traits, that means one healthy gene and one sickle cell gene, they are protected from malaria. I think this is one, and you see in this photo that there is sickle cell. This is here, and this is malaria area. So you have the same geographical area where this disease is. It is only in areas where there is malaria. This is about the global distribution. And here you see for India, it is especially central and east, but also, okay, I have visited Sister Lissy in Gujarat, so it's everywhere. Okay, so the question was, how can we stop the symptoms? Because especially in some people, you see the children die at the age of 3 to 5 years, and they don't get any treatment. But it was found that if you increase the fetal hemoglobin to 30%, then the symptoms disappear. So what is fetal hemoglobin? Fetal hemoglobin is there during pregnancy. When the child is still in the womb of the mother, it has another hemoglobin than after birth when we are growing up. And normally this fetal hemoglobin is disappearing after 4 months. Right. So it has been found that we can increase this fetal hemoglobin. And in the beginning, I found it strange, but hydroxyurea is doing nothing else than increasing fetal hemoglobin. Hydroxyurea is very old chemotherapy, which was used in leukemia maybe 50 years ago. And today, to my knowledge, it is only used in sickle cell patients. There have been 2 new medicines in the US. These Adaqueo by Novartis and Oxbrita, but one of them is only reducing the attacks. The other one is reducing anemia. The cost of these medicines is $100,000 per year. And also, one of them is only registered for patients up to 12 years. And also for the others, it's even later. So many of the sickle cell patients are already dead at that time. But there is a lot of experience in phytotherapy. We know that there are plants, and most of this research is done in Africa. About 1/3 of the global burden of sickle cell patients we have in Nigeria. So in Nigeria, they started a medicine with 4 plants, which is acknowledged. Then, but to these medicines, I will come later. So in Nigeria, they made 4 plants, that is pepper, Guinean pepper, glove, Perocarpus, and sorghum bicolor. Some of these plants are not available in India, and I'm going through this a little bit quicker. They did a scientific study with this plant, and they gave 6 months of the plant, then 1 month without any treatment, and 1 month of placebo. And they found that if patients took the medicine, the crisis per month was very low, whereas it was many more crises per month when they took placebo. This was statistically significant. But unfortunately, this is another graph of that. So if there is placebo, if there's no drug, crisis was high, pain was high, and also they looked at absence in school. Whereas when they took the medicine, these things were much lower. The story of this medicine is a little bit crazy. It was registered in the US. It went to the market, and the pharmaceutical company took the responsibility, but there was mismanagement and I don't know what. Anyhow, for many years, this medicine was no more available in Nigeria. But since 2015, at least the government is giving it to people at a low price. 300 naira is it's about €1. The next thing is much more interesting also for India. Also in Nigeria, they looked at a medicine which was made out of Cyanus cyan. Cyan, can you still hear me? Okay, Cyanus cyan is P. And when I was in Gujarat visiting Sister Lissy, she told me that pigeon pea is the local vegetable they use for dal. So they don't have the normal dal, but they have very often this Cyanus cyan, pigeon pea. And I have the data of this study, and this is really, first they looked at the size of the liver. Size of the liver is, so hepatomegaly, what we call it in medicine. And we could see that in patients who took this herbal medicine, the size of the liver went down, like you can see here. That was at start after 3 months and after 6 months. Whereas when they took the placebo, the size went up. That was not significant, but the reduction also was not significant. Significant means it is proven that it is not only by chance, but there was a trend. Wait. But when they looked at the crisis, the amount of pain crisis in this study as a sign of the vessel block, then they could see that there were less pain crisis during the time when they took the herbal medicine. And this was significant. So it is proven. On the other side, when they had no medicine, no herbal medicine, but the placebo, then the number of crises was much higher. So we are also giving trainings from ANAMED in African countries. And my colleague Katharina Madrid, who does these trainings, she recorded some experiences with people. So Marceline Agbe is her healer in Benin, in Africa, and he proposes his patients to take once a day 1 meal with pigeon pea, and then add a decoction of fresh leaves of this pigeon pea, boil it and drink it. And if there is a crisis, there is another plant called Fagara, but I don't think that it is available in India. He is saying they shall stop for 3 months. After 3 months, they should stop and then evaluate. But my comment is, it is a chronic disease and the treatment has to be continued. There is another experience from Senegal, Brother Nicholas. He also suggests to take a meal with this pigeon pea twice a week, and then every day take a decoction of the leaves, 1 week with Cyanus cayenne, the other plant, Xantholitum fagara, but this is not available. So we have one scientific study and from 2 countries practical experience. This is the other plant which is not available, so I'm going to go through it. In Burkina Faso, they made another medicine for the country out of 2 plants. It's not available, so stop. But there is another very interesting experience from Nigeria. The Yoruba tribe in Nigeria, they published already in, I think, 1989, the story of a boy who had this herbal medicine, and then it took about 17 years until the next scientific publication occurred. So it is very simple. Unripe papaya, you cut 100 grams, very small pieces, and then put it into 100 milliliter of water. Then you keep it at room temperature for 48 to 72 hours and drink it without filtering. They have the dose. I don't record it. And I think that is really a very simple remedy that has to be explained to the mothers to prepare it. I'm not aware whether raw papaya is available throughout the year, but if it is available, this is a very good medicine. I know one sister, she was in Berhampur diocese, now she's transferred to another place, but still she is in contact with a mother who more than 1 year ago started to give this medicine to her boy regularly, and this boy is still free of symptoms. So these are the data from the study. And you see, first of all, is they looked at the bilirubin level. Bilirubin is that what causes jaundice, makes people yellow. And bilirubin is a sign of the destruction of the red blood cells. And you can see in the different age groups, this is 2 to 6 years, the blue one is the hemoglobin before the treatment, and the red one is afterwards. It's more pronounced in the age 7 to 11, but also in those who are older than 11. And the other thing what they were looking at was increase of total protein. Well, total protein is produced in the liver. So if the liver function is not good due to a disease, whatever disease, then there is not enough protein in the body. And they saw also in these 3 age groups that the protein increased. This is an indirect sign of the action. Okay, now we go to another plant. That is Ocimum basilicum. I thought it was the same as Tulsi, but obviously it is not. Ocimum basilicum is another plant, but it's from the same family as Tulsi. This study is only a lab work. So, and in this graph here, you see the red blood cells, which are not normal. They are not round. And here on the other side, you see the normalized red blood cells. And in the lab, they saw if they have normal they put normal blood cells and they wait. If they don't put any medicine, then they become sickle cells. But if they put this, extract of the plant, they could see the cells remained normal. The problem is I did not get any dosing. I did not get any information about experience, but I know that this kind of studies is only done when herbalists or doctors use this medicine, then the lab people go and check whether they can prove an effect. But I was not able to get any clinical data. I wrote to this Professor Pius Piana, but he could not give me any help. And there will be some other things a little bit like this. Wait. Okay. The next thing is also only in the lab, but this is also again something fermented moringa. Okay, moringa is available everywhere in India, and when they looked, they did the same, that they left the mixture of water and moringa leaves for 3 days at room temperature. It seems that this fermentation is the reason for the activity. The same in papaya, that I forgot to say, you cannot get the same effect if you take ripe papaya. It needs raw papaya or moringa fermented for 2 or 3 days. So here with moringa, they looked at two things. If you put the blood of a patient into a petri dish, I will explain that later, and you wait for 2 hours, then all the cells will be sickled. And here it is seen, that is the blue bar, that only 80% of the cells were sickled, 20% were sickled and 80% were normal. The red bar is similar, and they also looked when you have, there is a special chemical substance, I forgot the name. When you add this to sickle cell blood, then all the cells are sickle. And if to this mixture you add the fermented moringa or any herbal thing, then we could see that also the already sickled cells return to normal. And I think this is very important for treatment. If there is a patient which is not under herbal treatment, and if the patient comes to the dispensary or the health center or anywhere, you can start with this herbal treatment even in this moment, because then it can change the red blood cells into their normal form. That is why they looked at both, to prevent the sickling or to reverse the sickling. Okay, here they also could do the same with moringa flowers. In the publication, they also looked at moringa seeds. Okay, now this is the recipe I told you about when I asked my colleague from Bangalore. And this is also a very good idea, because this recipe, this medicine, can be prepared in advance, not like papaya or moringa. So if you take bell fruit and long pepper, then you dry both fruits, and then you take 4 to 5 knife points of bell fruit powder and 1 knife point of long pepper powder. Mix it and take it twice a day before meals. 2 months treatment, 1 month break. I don't know anybody of my people in my trainings has ever done it, but I think it is a very good thing that you can prepare and give it to the family of the patient. There is no scientific literature like in many Ayurvedic things, but it's worthwhile to do something. Okay, another thing is also, it seems that curcuma longa, that is turmeric, has an effect, and that is also a publication from Congo. No, that is Congo and Nigeria are the main publishers about sickle cell disease. And here also, they could prove that the cells became normal after adding turmeric. So there are no data, and I think it's very important that in the family, they put curcuma to all the meals, especially for the sickle cell patients. Okay, now there is a scientific study about the effect of aloe vera. Here, they looked at the inhibition of sickling with aloe vera and also with some other things. So the number one is control. So no inhibition, all the cells sickled. Then vitamin C, there you can have 90% in the lab, 90% of prevention. So you have only 10% of sickling cells. The other thing, phenylalanine is even better. It's 95%, but in aloe vera gel or in aloe vera leaf, you have 98 to 99% of cells which remained normal, which did not sickle. But this also is a lab experiment. And I had this information, and because I had been invited to present a paper like this, a little bit more scientific, on a conference of hematology in Berhampur, in Orissa. And just shortly before, I told about this information, and then somebody told me, oh, I know, he was a Jesuit. I know another Jesuit, he knows a sister, and he knows Sister Lissy. So I contacted Sister Lissy in Unai in Gujarat. She's also trained in Anamed, but at that time when she was trained, sickle cell was not yet a topic in our herbal medicine. And she is training, she has treated more than 260 patients during the last years. And she has a clear idea how to prepare it. Wait. No. So she makes a tonic of aloe vera gel and jaggery. She boils 1 liter of aloe vera gel, filters, adds 500 grams of brown sugar, jaggery, boils and filters it, and keeps it in a bottle. The if you add only 500 milligram to 1 liter, you don't have 50% of sugar, so it's not really very durable. So this tonic has to be is preserved in the fridge in the center, and when she gives it people home, then she tells them put it into a pot, to put it into a plastic bag, and this into a mud pot with water so that it can be cooled. So she has very clear doses, and people come to the health center once a month. They get 1 bottle plus folic acid, and then they take this medicine according to the dose, and then there is a break of, depending, sometimes the break is 2 weeks, sometimes the break is only 1 week, depending on the dose that they take. And she saw that these patients that she's treating, they have no more symptoms after 1 week of treatment. That was really fascinating for me. And when I visited her, and I saw several patients, and I have taken one boy whom I found the story was really very, very a difficult problem. So we met Ayush. He was 16 years old, and he had been diagnosed sickle cell disease at the age of 3.5 years. So more than 12 years, this boy was sick. And he had terrible bone pain, he had anemia, he was weak, he was not going to school, and he went to a hospital that called himself Specialized Research Center for Sickle Cell Disease. He got ibuprofen, he got folic acid, he had some blood transfusions, and occasionally also had some malaria treatment. But he did not go to school anymore. The family paid more than 90,000 rupees, and he did not get this allopathic normal treatment, hydroxyurea. Okay, then they started to treat him, and you see the difference in this boy after 3 months. That was so fascinating for me to see him, and that was really terrific. So I don't know whether Sister Lissy will be able to join because she's taking care of her sick brother, but maybe if there is time, I can tell a little bit about, I saw 16 patients in her hospital, and we are trying to document a little bit some data. We are planning, no, we started, but due to Corona, this has stopped. So we want to have lab values of about 20 to 25 patients before starting the treatment after 3, 6, 12 months, looking at some relevant lab values, but also checking hemoglobin F. We do this in cooperation with Professor Dash from Balasore. He is head of Department of Biotechnology in the university there in Balasore. Because I think this is an experience, we need to publish that, but Sister Lissy does not have enough data to have a publication. So we try to collect some data to have a scientific publication. Okay, there are some other things that I would like to yes. there is a problem in sickle cell patients of iron overload, because iron cannot be excreted through the kidney only when it is linked to another molecule. We call it building of a chelate complex. But when there's too much iron in the body, then it goes into the cells of the heart or of the liver or other organs. And we have iron overload in sickle cell patients because of hemolysis. That means the cells, red blood cells are destroyed. And also if there are too many blood transfusions. So in allopathic medicine, they give medicine to treat this iron overload if blood transfusions or if ferritin has a certain value. And there is one study in animals which has shown that wheatgrass juice is able to increase the urine excretion of iron. There is no information that it can be given in sickle cell disease, but I think the publication was very interesting. Here we see the excretion of the iron. So NC means the normal animals with normal iron, and they have normal excretion of the iron. The next thing is, if you by experiment give them too much iron, then the iron is a little bit, the excretion of the iron in the urine is a little bit increased. But if in these patients, where in these animals where you have iron overload and you give the allopathic medicine, then the iron excretion is very much increased. But also if you give wheatgrass extract, and this is the water extract of wheatgrass, you have a much better excretion of the iron than in the normal, in the animals who had iron overload but who did not get anything. It is less than allopathic treatment, and the same we can also see for iron in the blood. So controls, this is animals with iron overload. You see very high concentration. This concentration is going quite a lot down with allopathic treatment, but it is still also less than overload if you give wheatgrass. And here this is methanolic extract of wheatgrass. But as we in our herbal medicine, we use water extract because we teach people to grow it. So this is just an idea, because also the allopathic medicine is also having a lot of side effects, whereas wheatgrass doesn't have. Okay, what else is needed? So first of all, patients with sickle cell disease have a high risk of getting infection. When I visited Sister Lissy, she told me about a girl. She was well managed with tonic, aloe vera tonic with her sickle cell disease. She went home for holidays, Diwali holidays, and then she had diarrhea. Patients did not look at it. And finally, when she went to the hospital, it was too late. This girl died because nobody took care of the infection that she had with diarrhea. But if we take herbal medicine, most of the plants that we can use in sickle cell disease, they are all antibiotic. But of course, if there is, so I think we don't need to give a prophylaxis with antibiotics if we use these plants. But of course, if there is an infection, we have to check whether it has to be, they have to get some antibiotics. Okay, folic acid is given, and it is, if it is not distributed, they should have good information in which vegetables they have the folic acid. But I think it's, to be sure, it's certainly better to take the tablets. Then another point is very, very important. The blood, if people don't drink enough, the blood becomes more thick, and the danger of a sickle cell crisis increases. And my experience is in India that very many problems like constipation, like kidney stones or so, are caused by people not drinking enough. So I think in sickle cell patients, it's very, very important to make them understand that they have to drink enough. And the next point is malaria prophylaxis is very, if a sickle cell patient is getting malaria, that is really a big problem and it's life-threatening. So here I found that is not for in tropical countries, but how many people have to drink per day, for instance, 4 to 8 years, 1.6 liters is needed. And I'm very sure that they are not taking so much. I think it's very important to train them. So let me conclude. I think it is locally available or easy to buy. It's easy to prepare. It reduces or stops symptoms, and there are no reported side effects. It prevents early death. I never forget the situation in a village in Bihar, where one man, he was animator in a program of the convent there, and he was very well integrated. And finally, one of his sons was sick with sickle cell, and he abused money. And of course, this was detected. Now this man is only drinking. He destroyed his life. He destroyed the life of the whole family because he wanted to save his child from sickle cell death. And if I see that it is so easy to give an idea to them what can be done, and it's very, very easy and it's very effective, then I think this is a good way to train people and to make them understand that with plants we can do a lot. This presentation is available. I have I gave also some more information in the text, and when it is completely ready, I will send it to Father Nicholas, and then he can send it to you. Okay, that's everything for the moment. Thank you.
Nicholas, can you unmute?
Okay. Oh, yeah. Thank you very much, Dr. Felicitas, for this wonderful presentation. We find and we see so much complication, but the way you are giving us information, so we have so many herbs and medicines in our garden, but we are not knowing and we are not using and we are suffering. So I think Yeah, now you have enlightened us, so we should do something. So thank you very much for this beautiful and very meaningful and very useful presentation to all of us. So thank you. So friends, now we have the open floor for everybody. What Dr. Felicitas presented, and what is your experience, your observations in the field, and what could be done. So maybe from your experience and from your observations, how do you see? It will be very good to listen to one another, and Dr. Felicitas can respond to, at the end she can respond, after 2-3 questions. After 2-3 questions and clarifications, she can respond to your clarification, your queries. So it is open to all doctors. Yeah. And you can also write on your chat box if you want to write. I am going through the chat box also, so we can work it out. Yeah.
May I ask one question, ma'am? Madam, any powder form or capsule form is available from all these plants?
I did not understand well. Can you repeat?
Any herbals capsule form or powder form is available?
I don't know.
This herbal this medicines, are they available in any form, whether a hard or a liquid form or a hard form like that? So that's the doctor's question.
I don't know. I only know Sister Lissy prepares it herself, and I asked her whether there is any preparation like this in the Ayurvedic shops or so, and she said she doesn't think, but I don't know. And of course there are in Nigeria and in Congo you can get these medicine like cyclavit, but I don't know whether it can be imported to India. I have no idea.
And is it taken with the hydroxyurea folic acid with that plant?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, or discontinues these medicines, hydroxyurea and folic acid.
It should be taken together, because even the hemoglobin values in the patients which I saw in Sister Lizzie's place was still about 8, 9. So we don't know whether the life of red cells is longer than in the normal. But anyhow, the anemia they have is not so much. It's normally about 8 to 9.
Yes, house is open for all doctors. Anybody wants to ask any question, or anybody wants to any clarification, so you are most welcome.
If you, I just one question more. If I want to visit in Gujarat, where is I contact? Who is the contact persons?
To Sister Lissy, no? Yeah. Yeah, we'll find out. Yeah, I will have the address of her. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, we discussed before Corona, or at the beginning of Corona, when we had no idea that it would take so long. Yeah. We thought to have. It was the idea that some of the doctors meet Sister Lissy in her place and discuss with her and also see what she's doing. But due to Corona, and I don't know whether Sister Lissy will be able to join here, but if she's not able, I can just explain a little bit what I saw there when I visited. I visited there last year for 3 days in October.
Yes, Dr. Rajesh, you are speaking. We are not able to listen to you. Yeah, you are muted. Please unmute.
No, sir.
Acha,
Can you hear me now?
Dr. Rajesh. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Questions to Dr. Felicitas. Madam, many plants and dal you already narrated, which are very common in India. Our patients are eating all these things in day-to-day life, but we haven't encountered relief and improvement in this patient. So we will go in treatment. Your plants use will take in experiment, and then we'll have our experience. We'll share after 2 days. But haldi you take kurkum, then ragi, then aloe vera, then your chickpea, that is we call tur lal, then papaya. These are really in our food, but we haven't encountered much relief. So it is a question of maybe we have to see it in seriously in our practice using all these things properly.
I can imagine. For instance, I think for papaya and for moringa, one important thing seems to be that you let them fermentate this fermented moringa, and I don't know whether this is from tribes from Nigeria who knew that, and I think maybe it could be possible if you check what I presented and then you say, this we have, why can't we start to do a study, to share, to collect the experience? I think I sent a proposal to you, Father Nicholas, about moringa, didn't I?
Yes, you have sent it. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because moringa is available, we can teach people how to make it and just collect the experience. And if we do it in a proper way, why can't this be done really in a scientific way that it can also be published?
Yeah. Yeah, that's good.
In a proper way. I think our method of using is maybe wrong. So we'll use leaves. What you mentioned about using leaves that we have to keep in for 2-3 days. It will be a fermented, non-fermented, and then that you have to use in the form of water, liquid. So that we haven't used it before. So it's good that you have narrated and you told us very common foods experiment in India, because these things are using very commonly. Very nice.
Yeah.
And when I visited Sister Lissy, just I met this Professor Dash in Balasore, and he was open to to do some research. I don't know, but I think it is important if such a study is started, that we have a scientific connection to somebody who is interested. There is one, I found one more publication there. I found 2 publications from India about all the medicinal plants which can be used in sickle cell. One is this Dr. Dash, and the other one is from Chhattisgarh. I don't have it in mind in the moment. And I remember that I contacted also the person from Chhattisgarh, but I did not get a reply. But I think if you want to do something, and maybe the real scientific study is a randomized study, phase 3, but I think this is not good. But maybe it could be a possibility to compare two different ways of treatment. Then we have statistical significance. We can have all the results, and I think if we connect to a clinician, to a scientist, they are all lab people. They don't, but you are the clinicians, and then we find a study and try a design. I think this is a good thing. But I think it's very important to have the lab in the back to this is just my idea in the moment, but I think if we do something, we need to do it thoroughly, and we need to have somebody in the back who can also maybe do some lab tests. For instance, where I was to do the hemoglobin F in patients, it's not so expensive. We will do it in some patients from UNAI, from Sister Lizzie's group, and it was not so. I thought it would be very, very expensive, but it is not. I was when I was at this conference in Berhampur, there was one professor from Vellore. He had, I don't know how much money from the Indian government, but the only idea they had was to prevent sickle cell. That means they wanted to screen the people, and if 2 trait people marry, then if the lady gets pregnant, then they wanted to check whether this child is having sickle cell disease and then go to abortion. That is not a solution of this problem. We cannot say it needs to be prevented, especially if so simple remedies are available.
Yeah, we have Dr. Devnis. Devnis,
Yes.
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 Yes, doctor.
Good evening, everyone. It was nice to listen to the Dr. Felicita and my friends, Dr. Dexter and Dr. Rajesh. We have met him, both of them. We have met at Ranchi, I think so 3 years back.
Okay.
And but we could not make it possible to make a platform at Ranchi properly, because I am a rheumatologist and arthritis specialist, so my segment is slightly different from general medicine and sickle cell anemia, though I used to encounter in my practice every day. So some of my patients, very learned patients, I am also treating some of the sickle cell anemia. They used to come for a non-specific aches and pains, especially around the joints, and sometimes the pain abdomen, etc. So I used to encounter. And apart from the sickle cell anemia, I also observe in our part, like in tribal populations, especially at Ranchi and Jharkhand, and even to other communities also. So this is an endemic zone of the glucose 6-PD deficiency also. This is also an important part of the anemia treatments. So what some of the drugs which we are using for the malaria treatments, so it aggravates to those patients who have deficient to glucose 6-PD. And one of the important cases, we have lost one IS officer because he has taken primaquine for the malaria treatment, and he was deficient for the glucose 6-PD and died ultimately in our hospital in Apollo. I was associated at the time. So not only to the sickle cell anemia, we have a lot of anemia in other causes like G6PD deficiency, very much prevalent to our part, and in WHO map, I think so. This is the endemic zone for the glucose 6-PD. So to the Dr. Felicita, you said that hydroxyurea is not too much useful. So this is debatable issues. So whenever there is a crisis like sickle cell crisis, always we seek for this drug. And we also treating with folic acid, that is well and good. We are treating and responding to our patients. But to my surprise, just now I have listened to Dr. Felicita. Moringa and this papaya is very good for sickle cell treatment. Though we have a lot of other herbals like Beng sag and Chakor sag, many more things are. So Moringa is now being available in Amazon also in a powder form, like Chakor sag and Beng sag also. So probably these herbal drugs, that is novel herbal drugs, which having a lot of benefits apart from the sickle cell anemia, like blood pressures and even jaundice and many more things are there. So probably it requires some research, like we have, like homeopathy at Jharkhand also being led by the Dr. Oscar Hemrom. Father Nicholas, you may be aware of that. So our people, they are doing the research, but not in a proper way. What the expectations are required for any clinical trials and research, etc. We don't have the facilities like Dr. Das, who is doing at Balasore, what Lista mentioned many times. I know there is a life sciences department at Odisha. We don't have at Jharkhand, and it was supposed to start in a central university, which is not there now. So it is only proposal. So we don't have life science department and research department at Jharkhand. And many more people, they are doing their own way in Jharkhand state. And I'm just at the border of the Odisha. So I know both states very well. So I belong to Samsera Paris, and that is very nearer to the Odisha. So I know. So what the people are doing, the tribal populations and some of the tribal practitioners, those who are working in the village, they are doing very good. Even I have seen, whenever I was in third year medical student, I have gone to my village. At that time, one dad, he has come from the Odisha, and he has given some treatment for one of my uncles with this squamous cell carcinoma. He has put something over here, and which was there. It was cured. I have seen. I am witness for that. I simply said, why you are not going to patent it? He simply asked, ye bhai food. This is the bhai food. I know by birth it, so that I cannot share this knowledge to everybody. The benefit will lost. So in our society, especially what the Dr. Rajesh has said, we are eating in day by day, but we are not getting benefit. Probably the form which required to be activated, like activated form of some of the drugs, we are not knowing. So that required, like what the Felicita has persistently asked, it should be fermented. So we have a lot of fermentations available, like rice beer, everything. So we can also ferment, but how the way? So it should be learned to the populations, and especially it should be from the designed by the medical fraternity how to ferment it. So this is my view, and I am happy to be invited to say something from the Jharkhand state, which was lacking. And I am also thankful to the Miss Anima Ba, who has called me during my practice that please join us today. So thank you, Anima, and others team who are hailing from the Jharkhands, and they are organizing this meeting. Thank you, Father. Thank you, Dr. Thank you, Dr. Rajesh, and thank you, Dr. Dexter. These are my friends, but I am away from them. I am associated with them by heart. So I am extremely sorry for them. Thank you for giving me the chance, Father.
Thank you very much, Dr. Devnes. Very nice of listening to you and your experience and your observations. Thank you very much. Now we have Dr. Ignace Kindo. He also wants to ask some question, and also he also doctor in botanics, actually botanical area. And I think what we are questioning and what to do, how we should go ahead, I think he should be able to help us.
He's the right person to answer, I think. So.
Yeah. So, Dr. Ignace Kindo, yeah, floor is yours now. Yeah, just please unmute your sound. Unmute sound. No.
Hello, am I audible?
Yeah. Yes. Go ahead. Go ahead. Sir.
Yeah, Dr. Felicitas, you have been visiting many countries, European countries, and even India. You have been to here so many times, and you already know the vegetation in European countries and in India and elsewhere also. And we know that vegetation or biodiversity, so the plants which grows in the European countries or in your countries are not found in India. So can we have the substitution of those plants in our region, also in our country, also in India, like country ours in India? Or if the plants which are in European countries or in Germany or in your countries, can those plants have the same chemical content, or will they differ in region to region or countries to countries? Because there is a climate change or the difference in climates and in environments. And will those plants which are used as a medicinal or a herbal plants in the European countries, or let us say Nigeria or Germany, will those plants will have the same effect here in India? That's my question. Because there is a climate change, even the biodiversity is different, some of the things are different.
Well, first of all, I have been a cancer surgeon, so I'm not really, I cannot really reply to this question, but the work of this group ANAMED, with which I'm working, especially we make use of the experience from African healers. This organization was founded when a pharmacist from Germany went as a missionary to Congo, and due to the war, he could not get the medicines. So he met traditional healers around his hospital, and he discussed with them what are they using. So the basis of our work is especially the experience from Africa. And when I went with the founder of ANAMED to India, to our first training in 2009 in Ranchi, I was really surprised that many of the plants which they had been seen to be useful in Africa were also found in India. But I cannot say anything whether the difference is the climate between Africa and India. I think it's not a big difference. Yeah. And here in Germany, okay, we grow one plant with which we treat malaria, Artemisia. We grow it also in Germany, but there is not much information about the different. Well, there are publications about the different constituents in different plants from Africa, from Germany, but I cannot judge it. I'm not. It's all for me. I'm not that due to know about it. For me, the main interest is, does it work in the diseases? And we saw, for instance, in malaria, that if we use this plant in Africa or we use this plant in India, the effect is similar, but I don't know.
Okay, very good. Yeah, nice. Achha, is there a Sister Lissy? Are you here anywhere, Sister Lissy? Are you there?
No, I had a WhatsApp contact to her about 2 hours ago, shortly before we met,
Oh,
and she said she will not be available.
oh, I see. I
But
see. Okay, okay.
if you want, I can just share a little bit what I saw when I visited her place.
Hmm.
Shall I?
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead, doctor. Yeah.
Okay, Sister Lissy is, she's working since 14 years in one place, and she has trained many women from different villages who give the medical treatment also in their villages. And they make the medicines together. And so when I visited, I saw about 17 patients when I visited her. There was 2 or 3 were young women married with children. Still, they had sickle cell disease since they were 12 or so. So under the treatment of with aloe vera tonic, they could live a normal life. And she also has given some reports, written reports of people who have taken this medicine, and they really said, as soon as we started to take the medicine, we could forget all about our former problems. I met two brothers who had started this treatment only at the age of 18 or 20 years. And I was really touched when I looked into the face or into the eyes of this man who really, until age of 20, he had terribly suffered. He had not gone to school. He could not sit on the ground because he could not move his legs like you do when you sit on the ground. And if I cannot explain it. It was just a feeling that this disease has really destroyed this man's life, because he was really, you could see that this man had suffered 20 years. And now with this medicine, at least he was able to, they had a small farm, the family, and he worked in the farm, and he could start to live a little bit better life. I saw a young girl, about 16. She lived a normal life. She remembered that when she was small, she still had this pain, and most of the Sister Lizzie's people, patients, they all reported that they had terrible bone pain before they came. They did not that much recall, tell about the crisis, but they had terrible bone pain. And all this was gone. And I was really excited, and I said, we need to give this information to many more people, because the situation, especially when I met the sisters in Orissa in my training, who said, we have nothing to offer to them. We just see them with their pain, and we see the children dying, and we can do nothing. So I think to give this information is so important, because it saves lives.
Yeah.
And I think maybe you can talk to Sister Lissy on WhatsApp, or organize another, I don't know, but I think she is doing very good work. Yeah. And she has trained her women. She has trained her women that they are also, they can do things independently. Really great work that she's doing.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. Yeah. This is very important that in our own country, we have also, this type of examples. And actually, we had the plan to visit her place, and have some training actually with Dr. Shantika, Dr. Rajesh, and all of us. We had planned, but because of Corona, it is still pending. So we'll try that. Yeah. So thank you very much, and we'll see. We'll follow it up afterwards. How we can go to her clinic and how we'll have some training with her. We'll see that one. So now may I invite Dr. Ignace Kindo. He's from Kunkuri in Loyola College. He has done his doctorate on botanical. So how does he look? All this, we have so many herbs, so many medicines, we have village doctors, so many things are being used. So how this type of treatments, herbalitical treatments, how we can look forward and how we can take forward? Dr. Ignace Kindo. Yes, Dr. Ignace.
Yeah, I would like to share my screen.
Yeah, okay, okay.
Could you please allow me to share this?
Yeah. Dr. Benjamin.
Dr. Ignace, I have already made you the co-host. You are
yeah,
on it.
Okay.
Okay, okay. Hello.
Yeah. Yes.
Hello?
Go ahead. Go ahead, sir.
Yes.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes. Go ahead.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'd like to speak more on botanical analysis of herbs and its future. And in today's scenario, when I see all these things and in coming days, the herbs are going to rule. And let us go to the term. Okay, botany is actually it's a plant science, and it also includes part of life science. And the plant is again divided into three parts. We call it herb, shrub, and trees. Again, trees are of two types. We call it angiosperms and gymnosperms. Among these, angiosperms are flowering plants and gymnosperms are non-flowering plants. And analysis of the plants, when the earliest taxonomists analyzed plants by two methods, that is a morphological analysis and anatomical analysis. In morphological analysis, we usually observe the plant by its appearance, size, shape, texture, and all the things. Whereas in anatomical analysis, we have to do some sectioning and see, we have to study the internal structure of the plants. That way we differentiate the plants. And again, now we have a modern technology. Modern technology, we can go up to a genetic labels. The previous one was just by observing, by seeing, by mere seeing, and by our lab work in the by sectioning. And the third one was by the plant genetics. And this the plant genetics is the study of genes and genetic variations and hereditary, specifically in plants. It is generally considered a field of biology and botany. I asked this question previous speaker precisely for this, and I have done some studies on these genetic variations. And I had taken one plant that is Alangium salvifolium. We call it in Hindi akol. I did some genetic studies. This is the akol same plant, but geographically it differed. I collected these plants from different regions, different locations, different environments, different soil textures. And when it took the studies, did the analysis of this plant, though this akol is a one plant, but there was a variation in this plant. There was a difference. There was a difference within the plants. Genetically, they are different. So
Ignace, hello Ignace.
Yes. Yeah.
Are you sharing your this one text?
Screen. Yeah.
Okay, then you need to go through share screen in the below your this one you see in the screen. share screen, and there you just click, because we are not able to see your this one slides.
Your presentation.
Okay, okay, okay. I see.
Go to the share screen. Yeah.
Down there is a share screen button. You just click there, then it will lead you.
Yeah, just maybe. Mhm. I think already it is.
Dr. Ignace, one thing you could do, you you open your slides on the screen, then only it can be shared. Otherwise, it is difficult. Yeah. No, not
I had
visible.
opened.
You just no. What you should do?
Shall I open?
From your power.
Yeah.
No. From your PowerPoint, you will open it first. Make it to the screen. Thereafter, you superimpose this one to your presentation. Then just share. Otherwise, it will not be difficult. Yeah.
Okay, I have already opened.
Then you just share it. Share it and whatever thing you just share it.
Share screen. You do there. Share screen down.
And you will see the preview. You can see the preview if you will share it.
I think it is. I think I'm disconnected.
Yeah.
No, you are on the line. You open your file first. You open the file, then you share it.
Yeah. Okay.
From where some beautiful music is coming, just please stop it. Maybe some practical difficulty is there, I think. You can go on sharing, let's see. Finally, how we'll work it out, that will be important. So we'll have the understanding, I think, if it is not coming.
Dr. Ignace, may I help you? Dr. Ignace, are you there?
He got disconnected.
Yes, come back.
Yeah, because he's the very good person actually. No, nice in the botanical whole thing he has. Okay, he's getting.
Now
very good. Yeah, nice.
Yes, we are able to see.
Yeah, very good. Yeah. Yes, Dr. Ignace, go ahead. Yes, very good. But now we can see the screen, but we cannot hear you. Dr. Ignace, we can see your screen very clearly, but we cannot hear you. So you get inside again.
I think now you can hear, no? Hello?
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The next technique is a phytochemical analysis. And these phytochemicals are chemicals compound produced by plants, generally to help them resist fungus, bacteria, and other any insects. And most of the plants have these particular compounds. We call it chemical compounds, in other words, biochemical compounds. The medicinal plants are useful for healing as well as for curing human disease. And phytochemicals are naturally occurring in the medicinal plants, leaves, could be vegetations, fruits, and even the barks. And they are called phytochemicals are primary and the secondary compounds. We call it primary compounds and the secondary compounds like chlorophylls, proteins, common sugars are included in primary compounds, whereas in the secondary compounds we include like terpenoids, alkaloids, phenolic compounds. These comes under secondary compounds. And we know that terpenoids exhibits various important pharmaceutical activities like inflammatory, anti-cancer, anti-malaria, inhibition of cholesterol, etc. Similarly, the alkaloids, which are from the plants, are biochemical compounds extracted by phytochemicals, which are also used in anesthesia by various agents. And for example, let us say Momordica charanta belongs to the cucurbitaceae family, one of the family, and it has common names such as bitter melon. We call it Karela and bitter gourd. More than thousands herbal products of Momordica charanta or Karela are used for diabetic patients and also helpful in lowering of glucose level in the blood. The bioactive constituents are present in Momordica charanta, that is Karela, that is glycosides, and pomegranate is the common name of the Tunica grantum. It's very common in our country, and it has much medicinal significance and used as medicines for centuries. And like primary phytochemicals, I said, the primary phytochemicals analysis is a valuable step. This is actually a technique in the detection of the bioactive compounds present in medicinal plants and subsequently many lead to drug discovery and development. For example, chlorophyll, proteins, and common sugars are found in this type of analysis. Whereas another technique we can use, advanced technique we call it, advanced phytochemical techniques, those involves like SPLC and GCMS, UVS, FTR. There are many other techniques are also available. And secondary compounds have terpenoids, alkaloids, and phenolic compounds, which already have spoken. And the another technique is that GCMS analysis. GCMS is another technique by which we can extract a plants, be it a bark, leaf, fruit, or roots. We can extract by these methods. Some of the practical work I would like to show, that is here. This is a particular plant I have done some, we call it in Hindi, Rohina. This is a Rohina bark. Rohina bark. We call in a botanical name, it has Soamida febrifuga, and it's Rohina bark. This is a tree. It's a tree commonly found in forests. And the bark, when I extracted with using the GCMS analysis technique, I found some chemical compounds like here pyrimidine and diphenyl cyclohexadienes. These are the chemical compounds present in this particular plant bark, that is Rohina, Soamida febrifuga, and the molecular formula is also, it shows that 615 H15 and 1 again 629 H41 O2 and its molecular weight. Then we also see the chemical structures. These chemicals have the chemical structures as well as it has the activities. It is commonly used in antibacterial activities. This is the one technique used, and these are the various herbals, ethnomedicinal plants. We not only include herbs, but there are also trees, and there are also some climbers. There are also some creepers which are which has medicinal values. They are good for medicines, medicinal use. Here we can see some of the medicinal plants, herbs, collected from various regions, and some of the herbal formulations. They have collected from the jungle and they have dried. Again, they have made into pieces. Then again, they have made into different, let us say, that form. And here we can say that plants, percentage of plants parts used in some of the tribes, especially have taken the Kuraku tribes. Some plants, the whole plant. Sometimes the whole plant is used as a medicine. Sometimes whole plant is used as a medicine. Sometimes the bark is used as a medicine. Sometimes a flower is used as medicine. Sometimes latex is used as medicine. Sometimes a leaf is a part of a medicine. Sometimes resin is a part of medicine. Root is a part of medicine. And sometimes seed or oil is a part of medicine. sometimes the stem or tubers are also medicinal parts. Not all the parts of the plants. Sometimes the whole plant, or at times a part of plants, the flowers, roots, barks, or the other parts. And when I have taken that some species used against frequent occurring disease, so I found most of these plants, herbs are very useful, and they are curative for like stomachache, wounds, boil, cold, dysentery, malaria, etc., poisonous bites, and worms, skin disease, so on. These are some graphs which have been verbally interviewed from informants. Again, ethnopharmacology of tribals. So they vary. Ethnopharmacology of the tribals, they vary. And forms of ethnomedicine. There are different forms they use in different forms, like burnt ice, decoction, drops. The Dr. Felicitas was speaking of the decoctions, and some they use as drops, some they use as a fuming, some they use as infusion, some they use as a juice, as ointment or paste, pills or plaster, powder, and some they smoke. These are the different forms of medicine or medicine used by the tribals, like burnt ice. It is smeared of burnt plant materials. The specific medicinal plants parts are burnt into ashes. The ice is dissolved in water and smeared over the affected parts of the body to treat skin disease. This is one kind of thing. Then again, fuming. It is obtained by burning the dried or fresh medicinal plant materials. Fumes are directed to person, drive away the evil spirit, and it is inhaled in the bronchitis disease or the asthma. It is very commonly used as mosquito repellents. Most of the times I have seen with my eyes in the village setup or in the forest setup, the people burn a particular twig or a particular shade to chase away the mosquitoes or other things. So it's a kind of fuming. Then also ointment, also they use as a paste. Then plaster and powder. Smoking, it is a kind of beading. There's some of the plant twigs are used as for smoking. It is a kind of beading, and it's a country cigar. It is prepared by rolling of a leaf medicinal plants, and in the case of twigs, it is ground into powder, and this powder is again put into a leaf twig in the leaf, and it is taken as a hookah. The bidi is hookah is burnt to its one end, and it's stuck from the other end. And this kind of practice is mainly for the throat infection or other things they have been practicing in tribal regions, in tribal areas. And the next, some of the medicinal plants have the antibacterial activities. Here I have taken at least 13 bacteria, 13 bacterial species, and they have a tremendous effect. Here we can see some petri dish. This is the petri dish, and each petri dish is subjected to some bacteria. And within the petri dish, I have taken some bacteria and smeared, and in this disk I have put the plant extracts I have put, and here you can see the inhibition zone. This is the actual control. I have taken control, and these are the plant extracts I have put into this, and here we can see very clearly it's an inhibition zone. That means suppose this bacteria, the person is infected by this bacteria, and suppose you give this plant extract to this particular person, that person may be healed. That way we can say, or we can conclude with that. And finally, I could say that ethnobotanical research can be considered as connecting links of the medicinal plants in terms of plants and traditional societies. It is an important tool in development of pharmaceutical and medicinal in countries. In addition to its traditional roles in ecological botany and exploration, ethnobotanical research may be applied to current areas of research also. Finally, it is hoped that in the future, ethnobotancy may play an increasingly important role in the sustainable development and biodiversity conservation, thus breaking the forbidden chains between indigenous traditional knowledge and the development. So, thank you very much.
Yeah. So, thank you very much, Dr. Ignace Kindo, for this wonderful presentation. Which one many of us are knowing, though we are living amidst the forest, amidst all this type of herbs we are using, but the values and its usage we are not knowing. So thank you for bringing up all these things. Now, how doctors, medical doctors and our botanical doctors, how we can join together and make a healthy, physically healthy society, we have to work together. That's it is very clear. So thank you very much for your presentation. And already we are getting, yeah, time is almost getting 9 o'clock, 9:10 already it is. So now, after listening to all these things, now how we look forward, what follow-up action we should have. So on that basis, may I invite now Dr. Shantikar Bhasawa from Gujarat again to speak his vision and how he looks forward after listening to all these things. Dr. Shantikar Bhasawa.
तो ज्ञान भी है, अगर रहेगा तो उसको बुला लेंगे, तो पहुंचा दो जो बोलेंगे.
Acha, hello, those who are speaking, kindly mute your sound system. Yeah, okay. Dr. Shantikar, yeah, please unmute your sound. Unmute your sound system. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dr. Bala. And I also thanks Dr. Felicitas for giving a nice informative presentation about sickle cell. And we all have learned so many herbal medicine, allopathic medicine, doctors also learn. So Dr. Barla has already said that all together means allopath, herbal medicine, tribal medicine, which is also known as homeopath. We all together can make effort for our society. We always fight for displacement, forest, and all these things, but we never think about this major and big issue for our society, sickle cell, because in next coming year, it will be big problem for our society. So we have to promote our tribal doctors. Already eastern part in the India, they are practicing more, Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, Odisha. But in western part, that in Gujarat, we always ignore our people who are giving tribal medicine. So we have to promote them. We have to know more and more about our people who are giving tribal medicines. And we must have our own laboratory so that we can search so many drugs like papaya and which Dr. Felicitate has said. We have to know research is more and more in our laboratory, because when we send this type of drugs and medicines, they take their medicine their own and our people left behind. So we have our own lab. It can be do only Adivasi Samanvay Manch and Dr. Barla can do and make all together. And we in next coming year we will do it. Nicholas ji, thanks.
Yeah. So nice. Thank you very much, Dr. Shantikar. Yeah. So I think, yeah, so very nice way you brought out how combined effort of all the doctors, combined effort of all the doctors, all our nurses, all our social leaders, professors in the university, in the ground, people who are living, those who
Yeah,
are
yeah.
practicing in the forest, everybody, we should come together and
Yeah,
bring
yeah.
all our minds, our knowledge, traditional practices that we have, what we know. I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
that's the effort we have to do. I think that's very important.
Okay.
So at the end, so thank you very much, Dr. Shanti, and we'll see. And maybe, yeah, as we are planning to have one training program in Sister Lisa's place, I think still we can think of in the new year, 2021. We
Yeah.
can think of that one, yeah, so that at least our Gujarat and Maharashtra and Rajasthan and all this Madhya Pradesh, all this, those who are interested, we can learn from her small her clinic and her efforts. So
Yeah,
that
yeah.
was a great thing. Dr. Felicita, at the end, do you want to say something? Last, yeah, at the end, you want to say something, Dr. Felicita?
Yeah, well, for me, it was very interesting to see that you are all joining and we are all joining. So I don't, in the moment, my plan is to come back to India in end of September, then October, November, if traveling is possible at the time.
Yeah.
We never know.
Yeah.
So if any, I'm ready to cooperate if somebody has the idea what special way. I think if you want, if we want to do something, either join the efforts of Sister Lissy or try another herbal medicine, because I think it's good to benefit from the research that is already done in Africa, and to try what is available in your area. And I think it's very important to document the experience. Maybe with some documentation, then afterwards we can go to a scientific study. Maybe my example for HIV/AIDS with plants in Tanzania, the animate groups, they have the experience if patients take Artemisia annua, which we are using for malaria, and moringa, that HIV patients benefited. Then I made collected some data, prospective data of CD4 in sickle cell patients, in HIV patients who took these plants for about 2 years. And then with these data, I went to university in Africa. And now we have finished a scientific study. We are just starting to evaluate the results. So I think if we want to go forward, to have one idea, to decide about one treatment for sickle cell disease, and then first step is to get some data, to have some experience, document this experience, and then go to a scientific center which is there, and discuss with them what can we do with these efforts. Because I think the results of any experience needs to be published. So I'm trying to get the data with Sister Lissy together. Let us see when we can do it. And if you continue, I'm ready to cooperate by mail or by webinar. And when I come to India, maybe we can have a meeting.
Certainly. Thank you very much for your, looking forward that we need to be together and we work together. And definitely as Indian doctors and tribal leaders and all tribal people, I think you are with us. Thank you for your service, and we are with you now. So you have to guide us and help us and lead us. Yeah, very scientific manner. And Dr. Ignace Kindo is there now. At least somebody is there who knows how to do with the herbs and all. So he also will be, and his team, he has also a good team. So they also will able to help us. So we'll see how to go about. So, okay, it is getting time. So at the end, may I invite Dr. Benjamin Bada to propose vote of thanks for this beautiful webinar that we had. Many people are here, all university people are here, doctors are here, nurses are there, social leaders are there, all around. So we are really grateful to all of you for giving this time. So Dr. Benjamin Bada.
Thank you, Advocate Nicholas Barla, for giving me the opportunity to propose the vote of thanks. First of all, I would like to give my whole heartfelt gratitude and thank you to the Dexter, Dr. Felicitas, Dr. Ignis Kindo, Dr. Shantikar, and Dr. Rajesh for giving us such an insightful ideas and your thoughts while you were sharing. I was just amazed to know about all these things that is happening in our around world, especially with respect to sickle cell. Believe me, I was not knowing about this word sickle cell until Advocate Nicholas Barla introduced it to me that there is an webinar which on sickle cell which is going to be organized. I was very much amazed and puzzled at what is this all about. So today's webinar was really, really insightful. Thank you, especially Dr. Felicitas, you have all the way come from Germany and you have given your precious time to us. And I can understand that because of the pandemic, we are unable to meet you in India. So if God's will, definitely we will be meeting you, and either in India or wherever we would like to, in Germany also. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, the technical expert. Thank you, Indian Social Institute, for giving us this platform. Thank you, India indigenous people. Thank you, Adivasi Samanvay Manch Bharat. Thank you all the Doctors Association, especially the Tribal Doctors Association of all over India who have joined us in this meeting. And especially thank you to Advocate Nicholas Barla, who has actually coordinated this whole activity. And he is the man behind all this webinar and seminar which you are attending. So on behalf of the whole tribal and indigenous people of India, I once again thank all of you for giving us the time and joining us in this wonderful seminar. अंत में मैं आप सभी लोग का बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद देना चाहूंगा. बाकी सभी लोग जो विदेश से आए हैं, डॉक्टर फेलिसिटास, डॉक्टर राजेश, डॉक्टर डेक्स्टर, डॉक्टर इग्नेस किंडो, डॉक्टर शांतिकर, एडवोकेट निकोलस बर्ला, भारतीय सामाजिक संस्थान इंडिया इंडिजिनस पीपल, आदिवासी समन्वय मंच भारत और तमाम आदिवासी समुदाय जो भारत से हमारे साथ जुड़े हुए हैं, और साथ ही साथ जितने भी डॉक्टर्स लोग हैं जो पूरे भारत से हमारे साथ जुड़ करके इस पूरे प्रोग्राम को देखा उन्होंने, आप सभी लोग का मैं तहे दिल से धन्यवाद देता हूं कि आपने अपना बहुमूल्य समय निकाला और हमारे साथ जुड़े. हम आशा करते हैं कि आगे भी इस प्रोग्राम को चलाते रहेंगे और डॉक्टर फेलिसिटास से या तो जर्मनी में या तो इंडिया में फिर से मुलाकात होगी, और उम्मीद करते हैं कि हम ये ट्राइबल या आदिवासी डॉक्टरों का जो एसोसिएशन है, हम लोग इसको और बढ़ाएंगे और इसको और ज्यादा विकसित करेंगे और इसको और ज्यादा प्रचलित करेंगे. बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. थैंक यू ऑल ऑफ यू. हैव अ वेरी वंडरफुल डे, हैव अ वंडरफुल गुड नाइट, एंड ऑल ऑफ यू टेक केयर.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nicholas. Congratulations.
I request congratulations. All of you, yeah, thank you. I request all of you to kindly please put on your videos so that I can take a screenshot, please.
Yeah. Dr. Felicitas, well presented. This is Father Sushil.
Sushil.
Yes.